Welcome back, everyone. Well, we're really fortunate that sort of on an ongoing basis, two of the supervisors of Warren County are willing to come in and give us some additional information about the issues that are important to that county. A little earlier in the news, you know that we're talking about the Westmount nursing home and a lot of the issues concerned with the sale of that. So let me introduce once again Doug Beatty and Mark Westcott, two of the Warren County supervisors, here to discuss in a little bit more detail what's going on concerning the sale of the nursing home. Last night, Mark, we had a meeting in Glens Falls. Tell me a bit about how that meeting went.
Oh, it was a great meeting, Jesse. Thanks for asking. But first, what I wanted to say is we went to the county first, and we asked for an official meeting to take place, a public hearing at night, so that people who work during the day can attend. We find that more people can attend at night than during the day when the county usually holds its meetings. Unfortunately, we were turned down. So 3 supervisors, Peter McDevitt from Glens Falls, Doug Beatty, myself, decided we would organize a town hall meeting. We wrote some letters to the editors, the local press picked it up. We had a really great turnout last night.
We covered it, by the way, as you know from the story. 50 people coming out in the dead of winter shows you that this is really of concern to the people in our community. I just want to go back. The original RFP went out in 2012, correct? Certain criteria there, which I know from covering the meeting, there are priorities here that are important to you, Doug. What are these priorities?
Well, let's just recap just a little bit last night. 50 people show up, dead of the winter, on a cold night to express some opinions and to learn about the Westmount sale. Obviously, the elderly are probably the most important people in our society. They've earned that title and that recognition. So it was super important for Mark and I to give everybody an opportunity to express their opinion. Now, concerning the RFP, which is a request for proposal, the county has to do an RFP when they want to sell this home. Now, Mark's going to go into a little more detail in the RFP because I'll get long-winded. We got to keep this short. So, Mark, why don't you capsulize it?
Sure, Doug.
Otherwise, I'll be on too long.
Well, and also because I was on the board when this was initiated, and Doug's just come on. This is his second year. In August of 2012, there was a meeting to discuss whether or not to sell Westmount Nursing Home, and it was decided that it was time to make that move. As a result of that, we discussed what was important with the sale. Number one, we wanted to make sure that whatever was done was in the best interest of the county.
And that, of course, means the elderly.
That means the elderly.
And the employees.
The residents, the employees.
Right.
But also there was a vision. We spent a lot of time discussing this as a board, that there would be a vision to not only sell responsibly the nursing home, but potentially build out a healthcare campus around the nursing home, which would create more jobs and economic opportunity for the community.
Right. Now, Specialty Care, the company that won the RFP, is trying to get closure on this, trying to get this deal done. You're trying to get this deal done. The purpose, well, at least from my interpretation, one of the purposes of the meetings last night was to say, that's all well and good. Not taking sides here. It's in everyone's best interest that this goes through. But some of those criteria that we're talking about concerning the care for the elderly, how will it affect them? How will it affect the employees? Correct? There are some of those issues involved.
There are certainly questions being raised. So I would say at this point, what we want are answers to those questions.
Gotcha.
And that's all.
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's face it, there's a value set in terms of what the property is worth. Come to agreement on that. But I think, Doug, you said it before we went on air, and it really struck me. It isn't about the money.
Well, in my opinion, and I believe Mark's too, it's not about the money.
Right.
It's about taking care of people, our most vulnerable people, our elderly up at Westmount. And I have a concern for our employees up there too. Specialty care, what we did was we did our due diligence. We looked at all the statistics throughout the state, the 623 nursing homes. We did a tremendous amount of time put in to finding out all the stats and numbers. And we would like, what that led us to was a number of questions about potential staffing situations, keeping staffing, staffing compensation, and so forth. Because without good staff, the elderly aren't going to be taken care of the way they should be. That's my opinion.
Well, you know what? I really want to commend both of you. It'd be so easy to say, take the money, let's get the money in the state treasury there, let's get going. You know, and in reality, a sale like this that's so important to the fiber of the community needs to be looked at, and due diligence needs to be done. I always commend you guys. You do a great job on due diligence. Hey, so we are going to, you take the information you got last night, and we've got a public hearing coming up at the next supervisor meeting, correct?
We do. Next Friday, February 20th at 10 a.m., Warren County has its normal board meeting. There will be a public hearing. And last night, after the meeting, we had people sign a letter that is going to be sent to Warren County requesting that the county invite Specialty Care, the proposed buyer, to come to that meeting to present their credentials and answer questions.
Gotcha. Well, as always, guys, thank you very much for coming in and adding just that depth to the story that really keeps our viewers informed. I know I appreciate it, and I know that they appreciate it as well.
You're more than welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse.
As a matter of fact, I talked to both Doug and Mark about being guests on Beyond the Headlines, where we can get into this in more detail. But again, thank you for taking the time today to come in.
Thank you,
Thank
Jesse.
you very
See you
much.
again. The wild man of Borneo. I had to sneak that in. Private joke. To see this interview again, head to our website, looktvonline.com.